stand up and recommit ourselves to this work.
Good evening. This is the December 15th meeting of the Milton Zoning Board of Appeals. Can I remind you, if you're on this call and you're not actively participating, if you could just mute yourselves. This is the hearing for 136 Gerald Road. The applicant's name is Timothy Connolly. Mr. Connolly was unable to join at 7 when we were supposed to start. So with Mr. Connolly's permission, we're going to continue his hearing until we hear the other two matters on the agenda for tonight, which are 70 Fairbanks Street and 18 Elm Street. So Mr. Connolly, thank you for your agreeing to that. We will get through the other two quickly, and I anticipate that we'll be able to turn to you by 7:45, if not sooner. So if you could just hang on the phone, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay. Is Bev, are the folks from Fairbanks on?
Nope. I call her.
So we don't have the Crowleys on yet. So
Mike,
should we just resume the 7 o'clock hearing?
Yeah. So, all right. This is a new one for me.
I'm calling her.
All right. I'll wait till Bev
Just a minute.
This call, and then we'll do it. Okay, well, we're going to open the hearing for 70 Fairbanks Road. Applicants' names are James and Tricia Crowley. The Crowleys were unable to join at 7:15, our designated start time. And so we're going to continue this hearing until after we address the other matters on the agenda for tonight. I think we can turn to 18 Elm Street because I know that Mr. and Mrs. Nobles are on the call, and we might as well just begin with them and get through that one.
Actually, Mike, I wonder if, I don't know that we're allowed to open that one before 7:30 because that's what it's noticed. So should we just turn back to Mr. Connolly's application now then?
I see what you're saying. Mr. Connolly, are you still here?
I am.
Okay. All right. Nice to meet you. My name is Michael Brown. This is the meeting of the zoning board. We're here to hear your application. Give me one second here. This is an application for the extension of a 2016 permit under Section 3A9 of the zoning bylaw regarding a detached one-family dwelling with a temporary apartment. As part of the record, we have your May 3rd, 2021 application for the extension, as well as the enclosed pre-existing permit and all the associated documents that were filed back in 2016. I'm going to turn the floor over to you, Mr. Connolly, and ask if you would like to say anything in support of your application.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. I appreciate that. I just wanted to say that our circumstances are still the same. I currently live with my sister and her 4 children. Unfortunately, their father passed away a few years ago with cancer. And back in 2016, we purchased a house in Milton. So our situation is still currently the same, and that's why we wanted the extension.
Okay, thank you. All the children, I have a couple of questions of my own, then I'll turn it over to my fellow board members. But all the tenants that are living in your home are still the same tenants that were living there 4 years ago, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And is there anything about the conditions of their tenancy or residency that have changed over the past 4 years?
No.
Traditionally, it's customary sometimes to provide letters of support or lack of support, as it were, in support of your applications. Have you had any communications with your neighbors about this application, one way or the other?
I have not. With work, I've been traveling a lot since August. I've been away more than home, and I'm away now, and that's why I forgot to call in. I'm in a different time zone, but I didn't have the opportunity. I could do that and talk to my neighbors about it, but I honestly didn't realize it was that necessary. But I can get that done if you need it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's necessary. I'm just inquiring because it's something we sometimes see. I'm going to turn it over to my fellow board members, Giselle Joffre and Brian Connolly. Do you have any questions for Mr. Connolly?
I'll just quickly ask, and thanks for your time this evening. As Mr. Brown just said, no changes to the structure since the original approval of the in-law apartment. And I guess I understand. I'm assuming it's the case you haven't had any objections from any of your neighbors over the past few years. Has anyone expressed to you that they do not wish this to continue as an in-law apartment?
No one has expressed that at all. We get along well with all our neighbors.
Okay. And I have no other questions.
Thank you, Brian. Good evening, Mr. Connolly. Thanks for joining. I had a few questions about the conditions for the special permit. You're asking for an extension really of the permit. So I just want to confirm that you're fine with all of the conditions, some of which included 1, only 5 vehicles at the residence, 2, no boarders. I think it's you and your spouse live in the temporary apartment. I just want to be clear that this is what you're requesting and that those conditions are fine going forward.
Yes, actually, we have 3 cars. And there's plenty of space in the driveways. I think it's over a 90-foot driveway. The house is, very, decent size for all of us, and everything's working out swimmingly.
Okay, that sounds good. And just for the record, I won't list them all, but you've complied with all of those conditions of the special permit
Yes,
up until this time. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't see anybody else in the audience, but I'm going to ask for the record. Is there anybody else attending tonight that wishes to speak in support of or in opposition to this application?
There is no one else.
Hearing none, I think we can close the evidentiary portion of the hearing and begin deliberations. Mr. Connolly, anything you'd like to say?
No, I just want to.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry. If
Mr.
Mr. Tim Connolly, the applicant, is, I guess, was anything else you want to say? We're happy to listen.
No, I just want to say thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, that's probably adding more value than anything that this Mr. Connolly is going to say. Thank you for your time. I will say to my board members, I have no objection to this proposal. It seems like a continuation of the existing use. There's nothing on the record that suggests that any of the neighbors have any objection to continuing it. So I would vote in favor.
I agree.
I agree as well. Do we need a motion to vote on this?
Yes. So I will make a motion and let's see, make sure I'm getting this right. So I believe the motion we are making is to grant an extension of the special permit that was granted in 2016 for 136 Gerald Road to permit the continuation of the in-law apartment for another 4-year period.
I think that's right. Second?
I second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, I think the application is approved. Ms. Joffre, do you have a burning desire to handle the writing of this one?
I would love to. How did you guess?
Great. Well done. All right, Mr. Connolly, thank you for your time, especially while traveling. We'll get to writing this decision and it will be issued in the coming weeks.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. I appreciate it. And Ms. Joffrin and Mr. Connolly, thank you. Appreciate it very much.
Great. Thank you.
Very much. Okay. Guys, I have to take 2-second break. I'll be right back.
Great. I guess we can just say the Nobles. I think we need to wait until 7:30 to begin that one. Have the Crowleys joined yet?
No, I've called and I've written.
Okay.
Let me look a little bit further here.
Hi, good evening, Ms. Crowley. My name is Michael Brown. I'm the chair of this particular panel of the Zoning Board of Appeals. With me is Giselle Jaffra and Brian Connolly, my co-members of this board. We have one hearing before you, and that is one quick application. We're going to hear you in about 10 or 15 minutes. We would ask if you could just hang on and we'll get to you as soon as we can. Is that okay with you?
Of course, yeah, thank you.
Great. Okay, so I'm going to open the hearing now for the application of Stacy Nobles and Scott Nobles at 18 Elm Street. This is an application for a special permit regarding the expansion of their home to accommodate their 3 growing children. The proposal at issue is to build a 12-foot by 25.5-foot by 2-story addition on the right side of their home, along with a 10-foot by 13-foot by 1-story addition immediately behind that 2-story portion. The addition as proposed would be 8.5 feet from the right side property line when 10 feet are normally required by section 6C1 of the Milton zoning bylaw. And as such, the addition would increase the non-conforming nature of the building. And so part of the written record that we have in evidence here tonight are the July 26, 2021 application of the Nobles. We have a May 23rd, 2021 plot plan showing the proposed addition, as well as a driveway expansion by Donald Rosa, along with associated construction drawings. And we have letters of support from various neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Cahan at 22 Elm, which is a direct abutter to the applicant's property. Mr. and Mrs. Darmetko, Mr. and Mrs. Brems at 10 Elm, which is also an abutter. Mr. David Murray and Linda Navin Murray at 18 Elm, Kristen Lesser at 21 Gulliver, and Michael Fahern. That's the written record. Mr. and Mrs. Nobles, I'm going to ask you if you'd like to say anything in support of your application.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. Yeah, exactly like you said, we moved here while I was pregnant with my 3rd child, and like many parents didn't realize just how big our kids would get, thought that we would be fine in the house, but with a now almost 15-year-old, almost 12-year-old, and a 7-year-old who are boy, girl, boy, we have definitely outgrown the house. We have 2 full-size bedrooms and 1 shower, and 3 children who all are very active in sports. So I think as many people know, it's a pretty tight fit. So we love town, we love our neighbors, we love the neighborhood. Inventory that fits our need is extremely limited, as everybody who lives here knows, and we just quite simply can't afford a larger house here. So our best option is to really make this current home and current neighborhood work for us. So as you already noted, we've worked with an architect to create some plans that would make this work for us. And that way we get to stay in this wonderful community that we've built and let our children continue to grow up here.
Ms. Crowley, I'm sorry, Ms. Nobles, thank you very much. I really appreciate your comments. Mr. Connolly, do you have any questions?
Yes, and thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Nobles, for your time. And the plans look great. It looks like a great addition to your house and an improvement to the neighborhood. So first, I just want to say thank you for the effort you put in talking to your neighbors. And just for the record, I wanted to see if I could just check if you're able to help me know what address some of the neighbors are, just to confirm how they connect. I can see you have each direct side of butter, which is fantastic, at 22 Elm and 10 Elm. And then you have 21 Gulliver, your diagonal rear neighbor. Do you know what address the Darmetkos live at?
They've got to be a little bit lower than 21, maybe 17, and they're directly behind us.
Yeah, on Gulliver. Okay, great. Directly
would be
behind,
to the west.
Okay, and then the Murrays?
Murrays are across the street from the front of the house. They're on Elm Street.
Great.
Correct.
Okay, and then is it Fallon or Farron? I was trying to read the handwriting. Michael?
I think it's Fahey.
Fahey.
Yeah.
Fahey. Okay, great. Yep. And do you know what address Mr. Fahey lives at?
I'm looking out the window now.
Scott's looking out the window right now to see if he can.
Or is it on
see
Elm
as much-
Street anyway?
It's on Elm Street.
It's on Elm.
Okay.
Next to the Murray.
I believe it's
So-
11 Elm Street.
So all of your direct abutters have signed letters of support then?
Correct. We actually have another one as well that I didn't drop off to Bev.
That's great.
But that's 25
25
Elm
Elm.
Street. So that would be diagonal on Elm Street in front of us as well.
That's great.
But yeah,
Did anybody, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, as Stacy mentioned, we absolutely love our neighbors, and yes, I believe we have almost all of them in approval. It's just it's a wonderful neighborhood and a great place to live.
That's great. I take it when you went around your neighborhood, no one objected to your plans?
No, they did not. Not
Okay.
at all.
All right, that's great. And then what was the name of your architect? I see the plans here, and we often recite in the decision who prepared the plans, and I wasn't seeing the name easily.
John.
Do you know offhand?
The architect is John Carthus. And then the person who would be doing the construction is John Kindergan.
Great. The architect, John, what was the last name again of the architect?
Carthus, Carthas.
All right, that's great. So that was really helpful, and I don't have any other questions. Thank you very much.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Crawford, do you have any questions?
I do. Good evening, Stacy and Scott. Thanks for joining us.
Evening.
You've already answered this in some way, but just to help me as I look at the plans, and I'm also looking on Google Maps, it seems like your addition, it's really on one side, the right side. And so whose
Correct.
property is that going closer to? I know you have all the abutting neighbors, but I'm just wondering if you could identify those particular neighbors.
That's the Cohanes.
Okay.
Ed and Chris.
Yeah, and Krista Cohane.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And could you give some detail about the addition? So I'm guessing like more bedrooms or bathrooms? Like what exactly will you be gaining?
Yes, absolutely. Master suite for Scott and me, which will give us another shower. So the existing shower would then be for the kids. Our current bedroom and office will get divided into 2 equal bedrooms for the kids. And then what is currently shared by my 12-year-old daughter and 7-year-old son will become just my 12-year-old daughter. So it is giving us 1 additional bedroom and 1 additional living space downstairs.
Great. That sounds great. Thank you very much. No further questions.
I don't
Thank
have
you.
any questions either. Is there anybody else in the audience, Bev, who is looking to speak on this?
No, there is no one else.
Okay, so we'll close evidence and begin deliberations. Mr. Connolly, is there anything you'd like to say about this project?
No, I think they're well-designed plans. The proposed improvements I think would be a benefit to the neighborhood and not a detriment. And I think the fact that the owners talked to the neighbors and shared with us on the record the support and lack of objection in the neighborhood just further supports the reasons for the board to approve the application.
Ms. Joffrey?
I'm in agreement.
I'm in agreement as well. I think it's a great plan. And as always, letters of support from the neighbors for additions especially go a long way. So thanks a lot for your work doing that. And thanks a lot for hanging on tonight and waiting for us to get to you. So do we have a motion to approve this application?
Sure. Yep. I'll make a motion. The board grant the requested special permit from the terms of Section 6C1 side yards of the Milton zoning bylaw to approve this 2-story expansion as shown on the plans that were submitted to the board.
Second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, the application is granted, and Mr. Connolly, you'll write this one?
I'd be happy to.
Okay, we'll get this out to you and Mr. and Mrs. Nobles as soon as we can. And if you have any questions, please let us know.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very
Appreciate it.
much. Thank you.
Thanks, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well.
All right.
Okay. Great, moving right along.
Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Crowley, you're here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thanks for hanging on for that. We appreciate your time and for appearing here tonight. I'm going to open the hearing for 70 Fairbanks Road. This is an application for Tricia and James Crowley to build a 5-foot by 10-foot roof addition over the front entry stair landing. We have an October 9th, 2020 plot plan that shows that this addition would be built 15 feet from the front property line when 20 feet are normally required by section 6B1 of the Milton zoning bylaw. And because the addition would increase the non-conforming nature of the building, a special permit is required. In the written record, we have the May 10th, 2021 application, the aforementioned October 9th, 2020 plan from Antonino Land Surveyors with associated drawings and photos. We have the construction proposal from AG Majori and Sons Construction, as well as letters of support from various neighbors and abutters, including Jennifer and Justin Renz at 48 Walnut, Deirdre Burke at 74 Fairbanks, Sinead Cooney at 66 Fairbanks, Matt Burke at 75 Fairbanks, and someone named Mike Zulis at 69 Fairbanks Road. These are all letters of support, well written, and we thank you for obtaining them. Have you received any opposition in the form of a letter or verbally from any of your neighbors?
We have not.
Okay, great. I've looked at the plans, and I think they look very good, but I'm going to turn it over to my fellow board members to see if they have any questions for you. Giselle?
I mute. No, I'm not. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. So as I understand it, the purpose of the addition is it mostly aesthetic?
Yes, it's an overhang, and we have a flat front a house, and we put in granite walkway and stairs a year ago, and this was the next phase of what I wanted to do to make the house look a little bit nicer, and have like an overhang so that if it rains or snows, you're covered a little bit. A lot of the houses on the street have this, and actually 2 doors down is even closer than 15 feet would be, which mine is. Theirs is probably 10. So obviously it was built way before the law changed. So, and the neighbors across the street who signed as well, the Burks, they're at 75 Fairbanks. They also have, there's several houses that have like kind of an overhang with posts right at their front door, and that's all we're looking to do. The Sinead Cooney is directly to my right, and Deirdre Burke is directly to my left. So those are my abutters.
Great, thank you. That's helpful. Yeah. That's helpful. And I was going to ask if sort of this design is in keeping with the neighborhood, and you already answered that question. So
yeah, yep.
Nothing further from me.
Brian?
I'll just again say thank you for taking the time to show your plans to your neighbors and to bring their signatures of support to us. And I assume you'll be building the improvements in accordance with the plans that you submitted with your application?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great, thank you. No other questions?
I don't have any questions. Bev, is there anyone in the audience looking to speak on this? Doesn't look like it.
No, there are not.
Okay, then we'll move to deliberations. Giselle, do you have anything that you'd like to say about this application?
I think that, it's always great to have neighbor support, and the neighbors seem to be in favor of this. It's also always great to have community members in Milton who are looking to improve their homes and our neighborhoods. I think the design is a good one, and as Ms. Crowley stated, in keeping with the design and tone of the neighborhood. So given that it's a fairly, minor variance, I'm in agreement.
Brian?
Yeah, I agree with everything that Giselle just said. It looks like a great improvement that's worthy of a special permit, and so I'll support it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think it's great. I think it'll be good for the neighborhood, and I would certainly support the application. So I guess I will make a motion to approve the application. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the application is approved. It's approved. Thank you very much, Ms. Crowley, for your time. Sorry you've had to wait since May to get to us. We've had a really busy docket over the past 6 months,
Yeah.
so we apologize about that.
Thank you.
Good luck with the project. I'll take this one and we'll try to get it out as quickly as we can. And if anything comes up or you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with Bev. And I think that wraps it up.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
And with that, I believe we're closed.
We that was
It was
Bev,
seamless.
you could admit it. John Leonard would just be getting warming up right now, right?
Yes.
He's the master.
He's the master, is right. This
Yeah.
one is who was it? Tim Conley, swimmingly.
Yep.
All right.
Great job, Mike.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks,
Thanks.
Giselle. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
nice
Thanks to you
to-
guys.
Nice to be
Thank
on
you
with
for your
both of you.
patience.
Thanks, Bev.
Bev,
Thank
as
you.
always, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Bev. One more for
Happy
you to go.
holidays,
Hopefully you have a nice
everyone.
break.
I'm very grateful. Thank you very much.
Great. Yeah, enjoy your holidays, Bev.
You too.
Take care.
You all do. Very much. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys.